Welcome to Purphoros Bronze Blooded. As far as our opening hand goes, we've got... Yeah, I think we mulligan on this one. We've got 4 lands. We just don't really have a good card draw source. We could try to bank on Sandstone Oracle. Good Inferno. Yeah, against Nicol Bolas, yeah, I'm not super wild about this. I'm just going to ship this one back. Yeah, we'll keep on this one. We don't really want to go past that. Sometimes you can be pretty aggressive with your mulligans if you're just trying to hit like a card draw and a mana rock. But that hand, if we just don't draw good, it just doesn't go anywhere fast. So I'm just going to keep on this one. Need to put 1 card on the bottom. I think at this point we'll probably end up dropping... So we're going to be able to deal with Nicol Bolas with Storm's Wrath. I guess at this point, we'll go ahead and drop... I don't really want to discard a land. We'll just go and get rid of... Wormcoil Engine. I think we're okay with that. So, and we're on the play. So let's go and make the land drop for the turn. And... What's that? Man. I updated this deck. I did. Let's go and play the Mountain. Anything else past turn? Yeah, we've got an off-color Mountain in the deck. And so... I guess Magic Online didn't save it? I'm looking at my deck. Anyway. I did. We've got an off-colored mountain in here. I don't know how that happened. I always say I'm going to take it out, but I really did this time. But anyways, let's jump into our commanders. And everybody just pretend that this mountain is a beautiful yellow red mountain like that. So we're playing Purphoros, Bronze Blooded, Jeb Bush. Indestructible Devotion 5 turns into a creature. Other creatures you control have haste in for a 3-mana activation. You may put a red creature or an artifact creature card from your hand onto the battlefield, sacrificed at the beginning of the next end step. And let's see what we draw into, and that's going to be another mountain. So let's go and make the mountain lane drop for the turn and kick it back over there. Playing against Nicol Bolas, the Ravager. Flying, whenever Nicol Bolas enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. Then for a 7-mana Grixis activation, exile Nicol Bolas, turns into a Planeswalker. +2 is going to be draw 2 cards. -3, 10 damage, target creature, Planeswalker. -4, put target creature, Planeswalker from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. -12. Exile all but the bottom card of target player's library. So hopefully we can dodge a Nicol Bolas and a flip Nicol Bolas, because if they get Nicol Bolas to flip, that is not gonna be good for us. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, TCG Player. If you'd like to feed the carnage, that is Carnage Gladiator, consider using my Bitly link. If you enjoy my content and you want to pick up some Magic cards, using the Bitly link is one of the best ways to help support the channel and for you to get cards. Also, let's give a quick shout out to MTGOTraders. If you'd like to play Magic online, they're your #1 card source. In fact, they have bots that deliver it to you. It's kind of like having a personal butler at the local gaming store. It's always nice. Also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. If you go to inkgaming.com/Jolt, that'll give you a 10% discount. It'll also allow you to check out some of my playmats, my Mad Neon playmats. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to directly support cool content like this, there's a link down in the description below. But if you're keeping score at home through that massive open, it is officially free time. We can have some fun. So, and also we're playing against Slow Player 1, so we'll see what sort of fun build our opponent has, or maybe they just end up going Nicol Bolas control. Who knows? We shall see. Let's go ahead and go for regular mountain. We'll just get that out there, and then that way this one will go on top of it. So anything else, we will pass the turn to our opponent. But yeah, it's free time. But yeah, this is Jeb Bush. If you didn't know, Jeb Bush, after his presidential run, he went into the Magic Plains and became Purphoros. If you don't know, you can see that picture right there. But yeah, this is Jeb Bush, mono red sneak attack, enter the battlefield, pandemonium, damage time. A lot of fun deck. You know, this is based off of one of my first kitchen table decks that I really when I say fine-tuned, I mean it was just coherent. Like, it wasn't just, well, I don't have access to get this card, so I'll just put this one in here. But yeah, it was based around Cloud Post, red sources, and using the battlefield effects with Pandemonium and these huge artifact creatures that were going to deal a ton of damage. So I always loved playing this deck. In fact, you probably see it a lot, and I don't know, it just reminds me when I first got into Magic. It was one of those decks that, outside of playing like the guild stuff and different things like that, or the starter decks, this was kind of like the first deck that I compiled that I'm like, okay, it's a lot of fun. And also, that was on Magic Online, and they had the premier format before Commander was, we have to discard a card. Let's go ahead and go... Oh, and that is a bummer. Yeah, so Storm's Wrath is not going to get rid of that Vanquisher's Banner. I mean, it's going to plus up Nicol Bolas, which is a major bummer. It's going to get rid of Balefire Dragon. We're pretty far from that. Click OK on that, and then hopefully we draw into something semi-decent. We'll see what's kind of kicking around. Okay, we could take a Soul Ring. That's always a good thing to see. Let's make the Mountain Land drop. Let's go Soul Ring. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think we just jam Purphoros and just try to stick a Meteor Golem on Purphoros. I mean, on Nicol Bolas if they flip it. Yeah, I think that's kind of our only option right now. So let's go and tap down 2 more. Let's have old Purphoros into the battlefield. Jeb Bush ready to throw that Meteor Golem out there, and then pass the turn to them. But yeah, and also, so Magic Online Commander wasn't. I don't even know if it was a format on Commander or when it became a format, but pretty much the casual format that you played on Magic Online prior to Arena and stuff like that. It was just called like casual, I think, or something like that. They had a name for it, but essentially is what I would consider Magic's entire card history, but it's just kitchen table stuff. So there's a lot of Cloud Post decks out there. Nothing Legacy like that, not Legacy. And so you build these Cloud Post decks where it was like mono green Cloud Post, where people just trying to turn out all these Timmy superstars, and then I'm over here with my Cloud Post going for Pandemonium, dropping stuff in. It was just a fun time. But anyway, this deck is that inspiration. Our opponent has a ton of mana on the battlefield. This can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that's 10 mana over there. So we still have the option to go for Meteor Golem. Once Nicol Bolas does flip, that's going to allow them to. Yeah, because they go the -3. It's not going to do anything. There's no exile effects. The things that we do want to watch out for from Nicol Bolas is going to be the +2. If they start drawing 2 cards in Grixis, that is really hard for us to get anything assembled after that. But at least with Meteor Golem, we're going to be able to... this is where the flavor of the deck is so... Oh, that is... That's a Soul Player 1 move right there. Grabbing our Balefire Dragon. Yeah, that's a pretty good play right there. I like that. Let's see. So we have Crumbling Colossus. Let's have some fun. All right, so this is going to be Nykthos Land Drop. We go for 2 activations. Kind of like this. All right, so let's do this. So let's go Meteor Golem, entering the battlefield, hitting Balefire Dragon. No, we need to do it like this. There we go. Put a red creature or artifact card onto the battlefield. So let's go for Meteor Golem. Yeah, I like this. All right, so at the end of the battlefield, let's go ahead and destroy Balefire Dragon. It's going to have haste, so we're going to be able to swing in at Nicol Bolas. And then, do we just jam a quick 7 in here? Well, why not? Let's go for it. All right, so let's go ahead and dump Crumbling Necropolis onto the battlefield, too. Why not? Get out there, have some fun. It's going to be a 7-4. Look at this. You can imagine if we had Pandemonium out there, how nice that would be. Let's go and swing Meteor Golem over at Nicol Bolas. And then Crumbling Necropolis at our... Yeah, if we can get in for a quick 7, we'll take that. So, sacrifice it into combat. And then take care of Nicol Bolas. Send that back to the command zone. And then anything else, pass the turn to our opponent. So, we're pretty much in top deck mode right now. The only downside about this deck is that we're really trying to utilize Pandemonium as a way to kind of deal that extra damage to our opponent. So even if we do draw into something like a bigger creature, I mean, we've got Leveler in here, which makes us exile our library, so we have to close the game out when we cast it. And so I think at this point, we're just going to be hoping for some sort of... probably card advantage. If we get a Planeswalker, maybe something like Faithless Looting, that'll work out. Now, if we do run into something like Inferno Titan, that might work out. That'll be 3 damage up top to our opponent. We can swing in with Inferno Titan, maybe kind of leave up some extra red mana for that Nykthos. We'll see what else can happen. One of the things that we do need to get rid of, and maybe we have an answer. No, we do have a Braid in here. Chaos Warp. Yeah, we got some answers. If we get rid of that Vanquisher's Banner, that really opens up this Storm's Wrath. So, in fact, let's go and see what our opponent wants to drop out. I know they've got enough mana to get Nicol Bolas out, so let's see what they're going to end up going for. Okay, so that's going to be an extra card draw from Vanquisher's Banner. That's going to be Nicol Bolas entering the battlefield, but also Slow Player 1. Oh yeah, and then when it enters the battlefield, they're going to have to discard it. So that was a long shot anyway. But with Slow Player 1, they tend to have a... They have a lot of fun. Really enjoy playing against Slow Player 1. They have a lot of really cool builds, and they'll take a different commander and build it in kind of this really obscure way. You can see where they've got the core of the Grixis control shell, but they're really kind of going deep on dragons on this, which is pretty cool to see. So it's going to be dragon coming across. Like my build of Grixis is Nicol Bolas' super friend. So to have kind of Nicol Bolas tribal, pretty good commander for that. That's going to be Valakut Awakening. So we can just cash in one card draw. So if we end up going Valakut Awakening, yeah, and I did, because I added this card to the deck. Sorry, going back to the beginning of the video, I did update this mountain. Because we had Valakut Awakening. Anyways, I'll update it later. So we get Valakut Awakening, put any number of cards, and then draw that many +1. Do we just want to go for an instant speed draw 1? We could wait until next turn. They only have colorless mana. Yeah, I think we're okay. I mean, this is one of those decks where if we can just assemble any sort of value, and this can be Forgotten Kate, well, we can keep the party going. Let's go for a cycle. And that's going to be Chaos Warp. Okay, but we don't have Storm's Wrath anymore. What we can do is, in response to them going for that Nicol Bolas, we can go for Chaos Warp on Nicol Bolas once they tap out for that Planeswalker mana. I mean, we're kind of in a tough spot. We are looking at 10 damage next turn. That's going to put us down to 11. But at least kind of signaling that the coast is clear, because, why would you not think the coast is clear after Valakut Awakening, and then we draw into Forgotten Cave, then we cycle it and then get lucky and draw into Chaos Warp, which is going to answer anything on their side of the battlefield. That was a pretty good draw. So I'm going to assume our opponent's going to go for the Nicol Bolas flip. Let's see if they get the attack step in first, and then we'll be able to go for that Chaos Warp in response to that. Pretty much the only thing that we don't want to Chaos Warp, like we have any control over it, would be another Planeswalker or some sort of big dragon finisher. That would not be very good for us. Okay, so that's going to be Tyrant's Familiar. As long as it's your commander gets +2/+2, and whenever it attacks, it deals 7 damage to target creature defending player controls, flying and haste. Okay, we can survive that. We're not dead. That's going to be 15. That's going to put us down to 6. Excuse me, that's going to be 18, which leaves us at 3. We don't have Mana Crypt out there. Is there any pump effects that we should be worried? Yeah, I mean, because we can Chaos Warp on Tyrant's Familiar. They didn't go for the Nicol Bolas flip. And so do we really want to save 10 damage, I guess? I mean, that buys us an extra turn. We are sitting at 21. And let's do this. So whenever it attacks, yeah, let's wait for that. All right, so we're going to let everybody attack. Then we're going to Chaos Warp Familiar. That way we're not doing this, at the beginning of combat, and they potentially have the option to stop that. So let's go for the 8 hit. Not super wild about this play, but if we can stabilize, we have at least 2 turns of it getting hit with 10, that we might be able to do something. That's a Steel Hellkite. Okay, well, at least it didn't deal any damage. Goodness. Okay. All right, so they're swinging across. Is going to dump us down to 11, and that will be lethal next turn because they've got 11 with Nicol Bolas and Steel Hellkite alone. So let's see what else they have to show for the turn. See what we draw into, and it's going to be a mountain. I don't think we can get it. Nope, that's going to be a good game. Good game to our opponent. And what we're going to do on this one is just tap down all the mana and pass the turn over to our opponent. Yeah, unfortunately, you got to see what the deck is capable of. We're trying to drop in stuff like Crumbling Necropolis and Meteor Golem. Meteor Golem is a little bit more of a situational card, or just really a removal card, I should say. But you can see where if we had Pandemonium, if we had Warstorm Surge, let's say that we have Mirror March on the battlefield, we don't necessarily need to have all of those to win the game. You probably will win the game if you have all of those on there. But at least just having some variation of that, where you get some sort of amplifying enter the battlefield effect. It really just works with Purphoros for only 3 mana. Ton of fun. It's always nice playing a commander that sneak attack out of the command zone. So let our opponent swing in. That's going to be Opportunistic Dragon. Enters the battlefield. Can't attack or block. Going to grab that Soul Ring over there and then push in. But yeah, if you want to check out Grixis Dragons, looks like our opponent's got a pretty good build over there. So good game to Soul Player 1. They're going to be able to swing in. That's going to drop us down and close the game out. So didn't have that big of a jeb showing today, but we're always trying for that. But if you still enjoyed the video, hey, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.